What? Carlos Correa is an Astro again. The trade just went through. I am not playing around. This is not a drill. We have breaking news before the breaking news about the Padres really going for it and trading for one of the nastiest pitchers really of all time, and they gave up a super prospect to get him. Correa is an Astro. Also in today's recap, we have to talk about Ohtani leaving a start early. The whole baseball world collectively held their breath and just waited in angst for an update. Anthony Volpe is still going through when it comes to making errors, but he's also doing some serious damage with that torpedo bat. The Red Sox offense is looking downright unfair lately, and that's without he who shall not be named. I'll name him. Rafael Devers, one of the worst leaders I've ever seen. And Cedric Mullins. He might have just made his final web gem as an Oriole. Spoiler, he did. I just got the alert. He's been traded to the Mets. But we might have to talk about that in tomorrow's video because there's way too much happening in the last two. This is a double upload day, so if you did not see the first video after this recap, go watch the first one from this morning. All of that in today's recap. We're going to talk about the Correa trade, the Miller trade, and much more. If you guys appreciate the insane effort of today's double upload, do me a favor, leave a like, and if you haven't already, spam that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And please save yourself 20 bucks off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy on SeatGeek. And if you've never tried Underdog Fantasy, it's been a lot of fun for a lot of you guys who are winning a ton of money, playing responsibly, that is. Use code Fuzzy and download Underdog Fantasy today. I still can't believe I'm saying this. Carlos Correa is an Astro again. I am not lying. This is not a drill. We will recap this deal before that mega deal for Mason Miller. Now, this is not the first time that the Astros have reacquired a beloved player. They traded for Justin Verlander a few months after he left for the Mets. Now, Carlos Correa has kind of had a weird 2025 because his athleticism has been completely zapped by an ankle injury. Then there was a back thing, and then there was a full-blown concussion, and Correa is owed $100 million for the next 3 seasons, and after that, he has a bunch of team options that I think are riddled with incentives and World Series or ALCS performances or plate appearances and stuff like that. Just basically saying Carlos Correa is owed a bunch of money. He's not going to the Astros for free. Staying with the Astros, at this moment, I don't know who is going back to the Twins in exchange for Carlos. It is going to be a big fat deal in my opinion. So the Twins are trading everyone. Brock Stewart, Harrison Bader. There's probably going to be a few other guys along with Carlos Correa. I'm probably forgetting people, but yeah, the Twins are in full-blown sell mode. I just refreshed. I thought there was going to be an update because Jeff Passan started with the Astros are acquiring. They're acquiring Jesus Sanchez from the Marlins. I thought this was going to be who the Twins got in return. So again, I have no idea who the Twins are getting in exchange for Carlos Correa. So do me a favor, subscribe so you never miss out. I might have to up you guys on this trade package tomorrow, but just like that, another breaking update. Jesus Sanchez of the Marlins is an Astro. You guys know what Jesus Sanchez brings to the table. He's got a really nice arm. He's going to get on base 32% of the time and hit 10 to 15 home runs. He swings the bat really hard, but he doesn't make contact a ton. So Astros fans, there you go. There's another pickup for you. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you make of this Carlos Correa trade? If you're an Astros fan, are you afraid about Correa aging and that contract really biting you in a few years? And also, baseball's so cool. We have Alex Bregman in Fenway tomorrow facing the Astros with Correa at third base. I mean, that's just beautiful. This is why we watch this game. Here we go. Mason Miller and JP Sears are on their way to San Diego in what I'm calling a blockbuster trade because the next J-Ram possibly was given to the A's. Let's talk about what the A's are getting before we talk about what the Padres are getting. The A's are getting the mega prospect. I think he's the third-ranked prospect in baseball right now, Leo De Vries. He is the highest-ranked prospect traded at the deadline since Eloy Jimenez back in 2017 when the Cubs traded him and Dylan Cease away for Jose Quintana. I forgot that Dylan Cease was also in that trade. Leo De Vries is 18 years old. He put up 11 home runs and 13 stolen bases as a 17-year-old last year. This year, he has 8 more home runs, 8 more stolen bases, and 52 walks in 82 games. Now, we haven't seen that 60 grade hit tool yet, but he's projected to be a 290s batting average kind of zone hitter. And again, he's only 18 years old. Everything else in terms of his tools, the arm, the fielding, the speed is at 55 out of 80. So he's projected to be a flat-out 5-tool athlete. Like, that's the projection. Also, don't get it twisted that he's at 55 out of 80. Do you know how rare it is to have 80 anything? Like, Chandler Simpson has 80 grade speed. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had an 80 grade hit tool. It's very rare. What's the comp for 18-year-old Leo De Vries? Jose Ramirez. So when the A's come to Vegas in 2028, hopefully he'll be up in the big leagues and I can watch him down the street because you guys know I'm a Vegas guy. The A's also picked up a 23-year-old starting pitcher, Braden Nett. The A's are obviously in desperate need of young starting pitchers. And this Nett kid, honestly, not as good as it gets because there's other more talented pitchers out there, but he has a ton of sizzle on the fastball. He has a wicked slider and also decent control. I know the grading isn't that way, but so far in the minor leagues, he's shown better control this year. That's why his ERA has gotten better and better every single season. Two more pitchers to talk about. 22-year-old Henry Baez, another young San Diego starting pitcher who could very well shine here soon. Now, he's not going to strike out the same amount of guys as the 23-year-old Braden Nett, who we just talked about, but this Henry Baez kid has much better location and he limits the hits. That's why he has a 1.96 ERA this year. And rounding out who the A's got their haul, a 26-year-old reliever, Eduarniel Núñez. I'm sorry, I botched that completely, but he's got a 2.3 ERA and a 14.5 strikeouts per nine this year. He throws 99 plus miles an hour. He's already made his debut this year, and that slider sweeper thing that he has, it's jaw-droppingly scary. And now it's time to talk about the flamethrower, one of the hardest throwing pitchers that has ever graced this game, 26-year-old closing pitcher Mason Miller. The best part about this trade is not even really his talent, but the fact that the Padres get him until 2030 and he's cheap. He routinely throws 100 plus miles an hour. He gets into the 104, 105 mile an hour zones sometimes. He has 163 strikeouts his last 103 innings. So if we're talking about players who have had the biggest impact on strikeouts over the course of the history of this game, Mason Miller's in that conversation, which is just crazy because I watched this guy when he was in AAA a few years ago when he was a starting pitcher. Imagine if the Padres have some sort of Frankenstein idea of keeping Robert Suarez. I do not think that's going to happen. We'll talk about Suarez in a second, and turning Mason back into a starting pitcher. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but he does have a starter arm. Speaking of starters, the Padres pick up 29-year-old JP Sears, who's been a bust, I hate to say it. He has a 4.6 ERA with almost no strikeouts at all since being traded for Frankie Montas back in 2022. He keeps the ball on the ground. He's got a pretty good sweeper. That's about it, but I do like the Padres' chances of getting a little bit more strikeout stuff out of him. Why did the Padres make this trade? Why would they give away the next J-Ram? Well, Robert Suarez has had a very scary last month. The strikeouts are down, and he has an almost 7 ERA his last 17 games. He's a free agent in 2028, so I know I hinted at maybe Mason becoming a star. That's not going to happen. I'm just kind of thinking like lofty. Robert Suarez being a free agent in 2028 just helps the Padres. I really think that a Suarez and Cease move could be in the future. Maybe not the same trade per se, but there are teams out there that do need a starting pitcher and a bullpen monster, and Robert Suarez fits the bill. Dylan Cease, he's a project, and he's shown that he can be nasty in the past, but 2025 has been a nightmare year. So I know I've kind of been all over the place in terms of what the Padres are going to do with Mason Miller. I really just think he's their safety net and honestly closer of the future, but I do believe that this allows the GM of the Padres, AJ Preller, who I've called the madman, to get more creative. Robert Suarez, he could be on the move. Dylan Cease could be on the move as well. Padres, honestly, I could see them getting Steven Kwan. I hate to say that, but maybe Robert Suarez goes to the Guardians now that Class A could be banned forever. I don't know. So again, the trades are pretty much done for today's video. If we have any more break, we'll talk about them tomorrow. I can't talk about every single one because there's one happening left and right. But yeah, the Astros added Carlos Correa after seeing 3 guys combine for 8 runs on 3 swings. Altuve went 4 for 4. He's batting .380 with 5 home runs his last 22 games. Cooper Hummel, more like Cooper, pummeled this baseball for a 2-run home run. And Yainer Diaz, he is piling on with the second 3-run home run of the game for the Astros. All for Ryan Gusto, who went 6 with 5 strikeouts, and I think that Gusto was just traded for the Marlins. I might be wrong, but I think he just was. The Astros are 62-47, and they got a big off day coming up. Because we just talked A's, let's see their game with 7 home runs in it. Mason, he wasn't even allowed to pitch with the game on the line. We'll get there in a second. Second half J-Rod, he's 1 home run away from 4 consecutive 2020 seasons to begin his career, and he's 1 away from 100 home runs for his career in general. Brent Rooker, he punishes baseball, so this is a no-doubter for his 23rd home run. Miguel Andujar, he had 2 home runs. The first one was annihilated. Same with my friend, my boy Darell Hernandez. He went to the buildings. He had 2 base hits and a stolen base with a sick play on defense. The Mariners are back in it. Jorge Polanco with a 3-run home run. So again, the Mariners, they're fighting tooth and nail. Here's the sick play from Darell. So there was a bare hand rocket play. Miguel Andujar had a diving play. The A's defense is clutching up left and right. All 3 outs in the 7th were web gems. Lawrence, he saved a home run. Here's Miguel Andujar's second of the game. He's going to get traded ASAP. Again, you could not touch Mason Miller in this game. It was not allowed. Randy Arozarena said, I'm fine with trying to hit off this Jack Perkins guy. That's his 21st home run. He has 13 home runs his last 21 games. Jack Perkins does get the job done. His 3rd save of the year. What a freaking game. You guys want to see one of the catches of the year? Do not go anywhere because Cedric Mullins was at it again out there in Camden. Is this Ryan O'Hearn's final home run as an Oriole? He's a free agent after 2025. Wait, hold on. Let me check. Oh, yeah. That's why everyone's saying Ryan O'Hearn is almost guaranteed to get traded because he's a free agent coming up. Miles Straw? 2-run. What? His 2-run home run matched Ryan O'Hearn. Vladdy tied it with a single. The Orioles, they kept it at 3 because Colton Cowser has a rocket attached to his body. He hoses Ernie Clement at home. Westberg, the sack. No, whoa, that ball kept on carrying. That's his 12th home run of the year. Miles Straw apparently wanted to be Astros Miles Straw. His RBI double was followed up by a long fly ball from Ali Sanchez. But Mullins potentially having his final web gem and home run robbery. He's done that I don't know how many times throughout his career. He's been one of the better web gem guys since he's come up. Bo, he just hit a 2-run double for the lead. Nathan Lucas sealed the game with a 3-run home run. Lucas has been a monster lately. Wait, the Orioles are fighting back. I don't think it's not sealed. Gunnar and Adley, they got it to 9-7. Cowser made it 9-8, but O'Hearn's final at-bat might have ended in a strikeout. Hoffman got him to chase. What a fun start to the recap. And honestly, there was a lot of hugs in the dugouts because rightfully so. It could be over for a lot of these guys. I want to see another crazy catch. Yaz, he went flying into the net. So it's a 1-1 game. Dom Smith and Spencer Horwitz, they knocked in the only runs for their teams through 9 innings. Yaz had no regard for his safety. He catapulted himself into the netting to make the grab. And this sucks. Instead of an easy out at home, Ryan Walker tried for 2, and it would have been an inning-ending double play if he had gotten the out at second base, but Cruz, he scores. And Isaac Matson, he was nasty. 3 strikeouts in a shutout 9th and 10th. They complete the sweep. Yes, the Pirates have swept the Giants, who have lost 6 games in a row. Logan Webb, he got Paul Skeens. Webb had 11 strikeouts over 5 2/3, but no run support. He had given up 4+ in his last 3 starts, so attaboy, way to bounce back. That 6-game losing streak is just a little bit better than the Diamondbacks, who again got embarrassed by the Tigers. Scary Carey being back makes all the difference for this Tiger squad. He missed almost a month. There he is laying out an RBI triple, and now he's going yeah. It's a big 7 total base, 3 RBI game for Scary Carey Bonds. Paddock, oh no, Paddock has figured it out the last 2 starts. He shut out the Dodgers, then got traded, and he just went another 6 brilliant innings with 5 strikeouts, only 3 base hits. Again, he was traded like 2 days ago. Jake Rogers, a 2-run home run. Perdomo, I'm going to show this for my Snakes fans. I kind of feel bad. He left the yard as well. Gino, he doubled in his final at-bat. But the Diamondbacks do, in fact, get swept, so that was pretty much all of the writing on the wall that the front office needed to see. Suarez, we know that he just got traded to the Mariners, and honestly, I expect a few more trades to go down. We heard in the earlier video, again, if you did not watch the first video, I talked about at least 15-20 trades. Boston, they made that Steven Matz trade, and that was after they rinsed the Twins. Correa even talked after the game. He said, I quote, "We'll see," so it doesn't sound like he's going to stick around, which would be crazy if Correa's traded. Trevor Story and Matt Wallner, they both whacked a few baseballs. That was the only run for Minnesota. Jaron Duran had himself another monster performance. 2 RBIs thanks to a Harrison Bader deflection. It's weird to see Bader out there knowing that he's not even on the Twins anymore. Wait for Jaron's second swing. Massa, he was so due. 2 more runs. Those are his first few RBI in a week. Jaron went to the upper deck. 4 RBIs on the day, 18 extra base hits with 22 RBIs and a 1.1 OPS his last 24 games. Willier, he knocked out Griffin Jax, and I can see why Griffin Jax was not happy because they put in Cody Clemens. Cody Clemens, the positional player, with runners that Jax let on. So those, if they score, they're scoring. Romy had a 3-run home run, so that hurts Griffin Jax's ERA. Maybe he could have gotten them out. Instead, they went with Clemens and Jax. Yeah, those are his runners. Yoshida, a 52-mile-per-hour home run. I mean, he'll take it. The Red Sox have won 2 in a row. Mets fans better send the White Sox franchise a thank you card with at least a $50 Texas Roadhouse gift card inside of it. Why? Well, 2 reasons. 1, the White Sox beat the Phillies. We'll talk about that in a second, which is big because the Mets got torn up by the Padres. I'll talk about the second reason in a second because Machado, he's been unconscious lately. In the month of July, he's batting .333 with 24 RBIs and an almost .620 slugging. Tyrone Taylor, I mean, you can't hit it to the Crone Zone, baby. Yu Darvish, he was all smiles, and from smiles to tears, there's Jose Butto. He came to the Mets as a 19-year-old. He just got traded to the... Where did he just get traded to? Oh, the Giants. Lindor had a rare throwing error, so instead of a third out Gavin Sheets, he just scolded a 2-run home run 430 feet away. And I am not moving on until we talk about Yu Darvish, who, by the way, has over 3,000 professional strikeouts. I feel like a lot of people forget that. 7 more shutout innings, 7 strikeouts. He only allowed 2 base hits. Finally, he locked in. The Padres have won 5 in a row. The Mets have dropped 3. So the first reason the Mets should be thankful for Chicago is that they beat the Phillies. And the second reason is that they also might trade for Luis. Well, I don't think that's going to happen anymore, because now I'm going back to this after the Cedric Mullins trade. Yeah, they're definitely not going to do that. So there's only one reason. They beat the Phillies. Staying with trades, the trade pieces went crazy for the Sox in this game. Kyle Teal, we know that he came over in the Crochet trade. He launched one. Colson Montgomery, again, he was not a trade piece in that deal, but he's still going in. 5 home runs with 18 RBIs. His first 22 games with 4 defensive run saves and 2 outs above average. Here's a trade piece. Miguel Vargas, he came in that Michael Kopech trade. That's a 3-run home run and 1 more 3-run dong from a trade piece. Edgar Caro, he was traded from the Angels to the White Sox in that Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez trade. That was an awful trade for the Halos. Caro was hitting .350 this month with only 6 strikeouts. The Halos then waived Giolito and Lopez a couple weeks later. Harper, a 3-run up. Wait. Benny Biceps reaches up. He robs Harper of a home run. Marsh has back-to-back games with a home run. And remember, they just added Harrison Bader. The White Sox are now 8-4 their last 12 games. Pretty good. The Rangers and the Pirates are the only teams with a better record since July 18th. So this game is a perfect example of why the Angels should not be buying. And it's a stupid idea. And we got some Angels in the outfield. And they started chanting "sell the team" later, and that Artie Moreno was a clown or something. Like, there was a clown costume, so I think they were given free tickets. They wore the whole outfit, and then they did the "sell the team" chant. Now, we just talked about how they botched the Edgar Caro trade, and now they're losing to a division rival on the same day that they went, quote, all in. Evaldi's trying for his 100th W for his career. Langford and Simeon, they gave him his first 2 runs. Nathan's out after 7 on just 1 earned run. Soriano was awesome for the Angels, 7 innings as well with 7 strikeouts, but Nathan, he's got the extra cushion thanks to a 2-run El Bombi home run. Sorry if it sounds like I'm going pretty fast. I just want to get this video out. Look at where that pitch was at, by the way, at his shoelaces. He pimped it. Rangers went up a few more. Nolan Shonywell hit his 9th home run. He had 3 home runs and 21 RBIs his first 67 games. He has 6 home runs and 24 RBIs his last 38. Robert Garcia has 9 saves. The Angels are 4 games back of the wild card after losing, because I just don't think they have the juice. Let's face it. That's why I don't like them buying. They're going to do the same thing as they did last year. To me, they're probably going to do the same thing that they did with the Edgar Caro trade. Just bring a few pieces in and then probably waive them. Again, that's just my opinion. Sorry. I know like 50% of you guys are either Yankees or Dodgers fans, so let's see what happened in those games. Is this real? Volpe short-armed another throw. His 16th error again that leads all of baseball, but yet again he made up for it with the stick. After Trent Grisham barreled up his 18th home run and Stanton, he clutched up for the lead, Volpe hit a... Wait, it was at the bottom of the 9th, so wait, that Volpe home run was the bottom. What happened? Oh, that happened. Josh Lowe had a 2-run moonshot off of Devin Williams. Volpe tied it, though. He has 2 home runs his last 24 hours. He's on pace for a wacky 24 home runs, but a sub-290 on-base campaign. Austin Wells, buddy, he unplugged his brain. He forgot the out. So that's one... Now I'm unplugging my brain. It's been a long day, guys. All that blunder did was just delay the inevitable. The gods had scripted a Yankees win from the jump. Bellinger, he had a triple to tie it in the 10th, and McMahon, he walked it off with a single thanks to a Jazz. Like, Jazz was kind of bouncing around on second base and caused the guy to balk, and then no one caught it. So yeah, it's a walk-off single for the newcomer, Ryan McMahon. New York has won 2 in a row. The Dodgers are trying to do the same. Not so fast as Ellie and the Reds. Lux doubled off of Ohtani, just the 2nd extra base hit allowed by Show all year. Ellie singled home Gavin. And whoa, Freddie, he belted out a 2-run home run, his first of the month. Ohtani, he then threw 6 straight balls. Please, God, no. Okay, phew. We can breathe a little bit easier, although we don't know if cramps means anything else, but they said that he was taken out with cramps. Andy Pais almost completed one of the better double plays of the year. He threw a cannon, but Noelvi, he skated in. More flying around. Spencer Steer, he got bailed by Pais, and Pais just kind of misjudged the jump. Steer's very thankful because now he's got new life. And Outman, he got a glove on it as well, but it's a 2-run triple. Update on that Brock Stewart trade from the first video. James Outman was traded to the Twins, so Outman is no longer even on the Dodgers. The luck of this game was just all Reds. Tony Santillan converted his third save. They have a plus 44 run differential, so they've outscored their opponents by 44 runs. They're 3 games back of a wild card spot. Michael Busch as a leadoff hitter is just not fair. I guess you can say that was a bushwhack. Sorry. William Contreras had 2 home runs. I think he had went a month plus with that one. Then he hit 2 in 1 game. PCA, speaking of 2 in 1 game, he had 2 doubles. This one drove home Tucker, and Moises Ballesteros, he had a base clearing slicer to the gap. There's William with his second. Again, it didn't mean much, but maybe he's woken up, so that means something. The power has crashed this year. He only has 8 home runs. Now, staying with 8, Shota had 8 strikeouts over 5. We had some doubles from Dansby Swanson, another one from Kyle Tucker. Tucker is officially in the 60 RBI club. He has 21 doubles and 61 RBIs. Ian Happ has 15 home runs after that pretty swing. The Brewers are just 1 game up on the Cubs now. Milwaukee needs to do a few more trades, methinks, because they haven't done anything since Andrew Vaughn. This is the shortest recapped game in the history of this channel. David Fry won this game against the Rockies in the first inning. The Guardians deployed like 6 relievers to shut out the Rockies. Kyle Manzardo had an RBI. Carlos Santana had an RBI double. I'm not joking. That was it. It's an easy 5-0 win. The Guardians are 2.5 games back of a playoff spot. Jesus Sanchez, I guess, he's not even on the team anymore, but he did the exact same thing as David Fry. He won it for his old squad with 1 swing. Cal Quantrill, he nearly lost it, but he gassed it up for a 97 paint versus Brendan Donovan. I mean, Brendan Donovan is heated. Now it's time for some more heat, and Cal's turn to yell. He goes 5 scoreless. He completely empties the tank. Graham Pauley. I didn't even know Graham Pauley could make a play like this, but that was insane. Otto Lopez had a sick play as well. Calvin Fauché now has 10 saves, and the Cardinals have not scored in like 17 innings. No offense, but holy snooze fest. Even CC Sabathia said he doesn't like pitching duels, and he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. No one wants to see 1-0, he says, but that's what we got in this last game. Check out the future Platinum Glover Bobby with the throw across his body. The starter for the Braves, Joey Wentz, went 6 1/3 shutout with 7 strikeouts, but this game was 0-0 through the first 9, so El Capitan, he just walked it off Salvi. He wins it. The Royals are 3 games back in the wild card. This has been one of the longest content days of my entire life, but you know what? It was fun, so make sure you guys do me a favor. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and go spam my editor, Pesky Talk. Pesky Talk has been crushing it with these edits. I would not be able to pump these videos out without my man, so go spam him with love. He'll be in the comments. I'm going to pin it down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.